This lesson is on section 8.7 titled Solving Inequalities by Adding or Subtracting. So let's go right into the first example. It says some number minus 8 is less than 15. Okay, so we're going to kind of treat that inequality like it's an equal sign, and we're going to do the exact same thing we normally do if there was an equal sign there. So I want to get my variable by itself. So what I'm going to do is what's the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. I'll bring down my n. Negative 8 plus 8 crosses out. So I'm going to have n is less than 15 plus 8 is 23. So my answer is n is less than 23. Again, you can also plug in 23 into your variable to see if that checks out. So you can say just 23 minus 8 is that less than 15. And in this case, we're going to have 15 is less than 15. And well, obviously, they are going to equal, but if you had any number less than 23, so like let's say, for example, you plugged in 22 minus 8, is that going to be less than 15? Well, in that case, 14 is going to be less than 15, so we know that checks out. So yes, 15 is going to be, technically 15 is not less than 15, so instead of really using the 23, what I should have done is actually use a number less, so like 22, and think of what's 22 minus 8 and go from there. So the answer to this problem is any number less than 23 would satisfy this equation. So any number less than 23 would work. So let's go to another example. Negative 4 is greater than or equal to some number plus 7. All right, so now I want to solve for my variable a, so I want to get rid of everything else around it. So I'm going to subtract 7 from this side, I'm going to subtract 7 from this side. Negative 4 minus 7 is going to be negative 11. So negative 11 is greater than or equal to a. And in this case, because it's that greater than or equal to, in this case I could actually plug in negative 11 into the equation to check it out, or any number that's greater or equal to negative 11 to check it out. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to leave it at that. But again, always it's good to go back and check your answer. But in this example, negative 11 is greater than or equal to a is my final answer. Lastly, it says the Airbus A380 can seat up to 835 passengers. So we have a bus that can seat up to 835 passengers. I'm underlining this. Suppose there are currently 632 passengers boarded on an airplane, which inequality indicates how many more people are able to board. Okay, so we got to figure out this inequality. So I have 835 passengers, and currently there's 632 on the board. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to subtract these to figure out how many more are able to board. So if I subtract it, I'm going to get 203. And so I'm going to use the variable p for passengers. So at most there can be 203 passengers boarded. So the passengers have to be less than or equal to 203, because at most there's 203. It can equal 203, like I put that equal sign there, but it's got to be less than or equal to 203. So again, you have to understand the problem that you're solving in order to put our inequality in its place. And then which inequality indicates how many more people, how many more indicates it's a subtraction problem. So make it as easy as possible and then put your inequality in there. And that brings me to the end of this lesson. Thanks for watching.